Hey guys, Asher coming at you today, Brady Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Glad to have you all here today. Hey, it's time to do the guide on Roshcard the Tower, an old school legendary Sacred Order Magic Affinity champion who's still got it in a lot of big ways. Let's discuss them today, but first, shout out to Just Doka looking for a Roshcard and Warcaster. Congratulations, you got the two key components for a great unkillable team for Clan Boss. I'll show you some unkillable teams featuring Roshcard the Tower in today's video. We have Arcticio looking for a Roshcard, Just Doka, Jonathan. We have David Kilby or Kilby. We have AD Jenkins. We have a lot of other requests here coming in. A lot of you guys asking for an updated guide on Roshcard the Tower. Let's go ahead and get on with it. All right, guys, so Roshcard the Tower, he's an oldie, but he's still a goodie. He really is. Let's talk about his kit really quickly. First, we have to draw your attention to his HP. He's got a boatload of HP, which means, especially in the early game, in the mid game, you can use this dude just as a support, right? In bolster or a shield set. He can help you out because he's got block damage on a 4-turn cooldown as well. Before we go to that, again, a lot of HP. You can do some nice things. It scales very well. You know, immortal gear, regeneration gear, all that stuff does very well on Roshcard. On his A1, he has a 50% chance of removing a random buff from the target. It's okay, the rebuke ability, but noteworthy here, only 2 books on this, which is really, really nice. He does have 4 books on the A2, Sanction, attacks 1 enemy, has a block active skills and a block buff, so a total shutdown. And these debuffs cannot be resisted, so no reason to build accuracy for this A2 on the Sanction. On the A3, Zone of Protection is a 4-turn cooldown block damage. Very, very basic, right? An old school unkillable stalwart on a lot of teams out there for Clan Boss, right? Still is for many, many players out there. Increase HP in all battles by 33%, so a very, very juicy all battle HP aura to give him even more utility, which is very nice. So what can he do? He can lock out a random enemy. It's not the most useful because it's single target, but it's still, it's nice to have, right? Again, it can't be resisted, so we're not even worrying about accuracy. The A1, I'm not even really worrying about too much on this champion. I'm not building him with accuracy, personally. And the block damage has been power crept, the Zone of Protection. I just want to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the demon spawn in the room. Helikath was a previous fusion that we had, so a lot of people had access to him at the time, at least. In his A3, he basically took the same ability, but he added, whenever that block damage falls off from Roshcard's A3-2 on a 4-turn cooldown, he's going to replace it with an increased defense for 2 turns, helping him get back to the Devoted Servants again and refreshing that survivability. So it's definitely a superior kit and superior ability here. Helikath beats Roshcard in every area. However, if you're lucky enough to have both, why not utilize Roshcard too? That's what I do. I have both these champions. So even if you have both, or if you just have Roshcard, you're still in luck. He does a great job because essentially he still has what makes Helikath so good for unkillable teams. And that is a block damage on a 4-turn cooldown. He's got it too, Roshcard. So let's talk about how we could build him and where we can use this champion. First, let's take a look at hellhades.com. They give him a surprisingly high score, a 4 overall rating. You can see it's kind of falling off the screen there, but it's 4. 4 out of 5, that's really good, right? The way I look at Roshcard personally is that he is he's a bit of a power crept old school champion that still excels in a few different areas. Iron Twins, anywhere you need block damage or unkillable, you know, Clan Boss first and foremost, and then progression, right? So you're kind of seeing that reflected in where people are using him inside the game right now, right? You're seeing him Spider, Fire Knight, Dragon, Ice Golem, progression, essentially. I will say that Ice Golem, ironically, I would probably give him the highest score out of the 4 dungeons in Ice Golem because he can do a hell of a good job keeping your team alive, if nothing else, against the Ice Golem. You can use him as your HP or a lead as well, and you can put him in that shield or bolster set to add extra survivability. Granted, beyond that, he's a little one-dimensional, so maybe that's why they gave him a 3 out of 4, or 5, excuse me. But again, Dragon, Fire Knight, Spider, okay, same sort of utility in my book. I would say even Ice Golem Hard, a 3.5, 4 type grade there. Iron Twins, a 5 out of 5, just protecting your team. We'll show you an Iron Twins team, the best Iron Twins team, in my opinion, in the game. Clan Boss, 5 out of 5. Dreadhorn, they give him a 5 out of 5. Man, that's a high score for Dreadhorn. I look at him as good, but I'm not sure if I give him a 5. Magma, I mean, they give him a 3.5 or higher in every single Doom Tower boss. That says a lot about this dude. Arena, even a 3.5. I don't look at him as an arena champion nowadays, personally, but back in the day, and who knows, the last time they updated these, who knows, right? You can definitely get some utility. There's just a lot of ways. Well, let me just put it this way. Stone Skin's better, right? A 2-turn Stone Skin is better than his A3, and that's his main, ability that he's bringing to the table on the A3. However, that's not the case in every situation. I'm just talking about the arena specifically there. All right, so he does have a 5 attack multiplier on his A1. On his A2, it's a 0.3 HP multiplier. Kind of annoying that there are 2 different multipliers. They give a strong grade on his multiplier on his rebuke. Let me take another look at that. Wait a second. No way. No way. Where am I? Okay, I'm in the right place, Ash. I refuse to believe it. Rebuke, attack 1 enemy with a 947 base attack. No. It's not going to be, his attack doesn't scale well enough to count on him for damage off of the sheer ability rebuke. However, you can obviously get damage from War Master vis-a-vis, the A1 ability. Okay. They recommend Brimstone or Polymorph in the arena. It's awkward, right? Because there's not a big reason to build this champion with accuracy. However, I do agree with that. I think that Brimstone in PvE is the way to go on Roshcard. And unless you're lucky enough to have him fully awakened, that means you're going to have to build him with accuracy just to take advantage of the Brimstone. But I personally think it's worth it in the end game. So I decided to actually do that. I subbed out, I think, a resistance banner on him or something for an accuracy, just so I could start landing those. I'm going to have a link for you guys on this website in the comments or the description of this video. But these are all the unkillable teams on Deadwood Jedi. He has the full speed tuning. He has all the new teams, all the popular teams, basically everything that you could possibly want. Now, what you can do is up here, you can go to speed tunes on the tab, and then you can find Roshcard the Tower, and it will show every single slow, fast, new player, veteran, unkillable, everything that you can do, right? So fast tower, skull crusher, unkillable. It's a 3-key team. It works on all affinities. It's moderately difficult to assemble this team, and it's an unkillable team. A speed tune overview, it's going to tell you the essential champions. In this case, it's just Skull Crusher, Roshcard, a couple DPS, and a block debuffer. And then it's going to give you all the speeds that you need, as well as the ranges, and explain how the team works in depth for you guys. There's dozens of Roshcard the Tower teams. It's going to depend on the champions that you have and the gear that you have on your account, which you can utilize, right? So can I think off the top of my head here? Hard for me. To show you the one that I was using. I don't use it anymore. I did switch to a Demitha team instead. But I was running... what was I running? I'm trying to think of the name. The North Pole, Slow Man, Tower and Valkyrie, Slow Tower, 4-3. Oh, look at all these guys. There's so many. Oh my God. Maybe it was the Fast Tower. I don't think so. It was definitely a 1-key that I was using. Anyway, you guys can search, find the champions that you have. But I was using he and Warcaster together as one of the commenters left a comment on. I really like that team, right? But I wanted to switch it for the Myth Fu because I wanted to actually use Roshcard in a different speed for my Iron Twins team, so it made me switch. Anyway, Roshcard the Tower. I have him in triple speed. The way that you build Roshcard the Tower is going to depend very heavily on where you're using him and what kind of situation, what kind of speed tuning. Because he's a part of an unkillable team, it means that oftentimes his HP, his survivability, his speed are all going to be dictated by the team that he's being used on, for a clan boss team, for example. you'll want him with 100% crit rate and as much crit damage as you can get on him. And we don't care about his HP at all, really, because we just want to min-max his damage, or his defense or survivability, right? And we just want him at the speed that we need him for to make that team work, For progression, though, so for players who are not trying to build a speed-tuned team around Roshcard the Tower, which, again, I would say is his best use case in the mid-game, the late game, the end game, right? Outside of that, general build on this champion, I would just put him in Immortal again, life gear if you have it. You could think a little bit outside the box. Again, throw him in the bolster if you wanted to. Even go Guardian on this champion and build him super tanky if you wanted to kind of absorb some of the damage on the rest of your team. So there's a few ideas for you guys. You could go way off the reservoir and go like Frostbite or something on this champion for some control. There's a number of different ways that you can build him. But I think that, starting with a shield set is probably the way to go for progression, kind of new players who just pulled Roshcard. He's nice and easy to build because you just focus on speed, survivability, and that's really it. The rest of his kit works on its own. You don't even need the accuracy. That being said, we do have Brimstone, so we do have accuracy on the banner. We have HP on the amulet. We have defense on the ring. That's totally cool. We have speed on the boots. We have defense percentage on the chest, or excuse me, on the gauntlets. I would always gravitate towards HP percentage because it scales so well on this champion, but I'm using specific speed gear to specifically speed tune him to the exact speed that I needed, which is 253 for this run in Iron Twins that I'm about to show you guys. So I have triple speed on him. Triple speed is fine too, right? It's totally fine. We love a fast Roshcard the Tower. That way he can get back to all of his support abilities even faster. Brimstone, I already told you guys, I love Brimstone on this champion, but it does require accuracy. You could also use him because he has such a good aura himself. I think intimidating presence is a great consideration for this champion as well. Masteries, I don't have any on him. I think that 9 times out of 10, the areas that you're going to be using him, if he is speed tuned, an unkillable team, you don't need masteries. You just don't. Sometimes masteries can screw things up more than they can help, If I was going to get masteries on him, it would definitely be something like, it'd be something similar. Let's see, this. There we go. I would go this route. Basically go down, pick up War Master on the left-hand side. And on the support tree, I would just come down. Most importantly, it's not what we're selecting, it's what we're not selecting for an unkillable team. Moreover, we don't want to go ahead and pick up any turn meter increases. Rapid response, no-go. Arcane celerity, no-go, right? Cycle of revenge, no-go. Anything that's going to timely intervention, no. Anything that's going to screw up his turn meter, we do not want. So be careful of those things. We don't want Cycle of Magic. We don't want to mess up his skills and randomly decrease the cooldown and mess around with his abilities. So you got to be careful in the Masteries if you want to use him on a speed tune team. Otherwise, I really like this particular build. I will also link this mastery page for you guys if you want to check out their recommendations, because they have PvP masteries, a fast Roshcard, they have a tank Roshcard as well. So a lot of considerations for you guys depending on how you want to utilize this champion. Again, I did book him, but I did not. I think you do need to book him, but I did not go for masteries. I have a random resist chest on him right now, only because I needed exactly that amount of speed. Normally, I would gravitate on towards HP percentage for obvious reasons. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and take him into battle here. Again, I wish I could show you, wish I remember the old team that I was using. You could probably just Google Ash Clan Boss. This is the new team that I was referring to, though. New-ish. It's Myth Fu here, Fushan and Demitha. But let's see. Are any of my teammates using a lot of double man-eaters here in my clan, guys? Anybody in your clans use a Roshcard team? You can see Helicath, double man-eater. Double man-eater. Yeah, no one is using Roshcard, unfortunately. A couple Mythfus in there as well, but that's about it for my clan. Anybody using them a little bit lower here? Not that I'm seeing. I might be missing some, but everybody's still going double man-eaters or Helicath for the majority of my clan, at least. Anyway, let's go into Iron Twins, because this is where this is where I love this guy the most because this is where I use him every day. Listen, for a long time, I have him on this team with 3 Painkeepers and a Geomancer. It is the most broken team in the world, guys. Most of these Painkeepers aren't even leveled up or have gear on them. Geomancer at 216 speed with 525 accuracy, shutting off the A2, prioritizing the A3. Painkeeper number 1, 2-1, 200 speed. Painkeeper number 2, 2-1, 244 speed. Painkeeper number 3, 2-1, 225 speed. Roshcard the Tower, shutting off the A2. Zone of protection is his first priority. 252 or 253 speed, either will work. Let's go ahead and see this battle. What do you say, guys? Now, like I was saying, I'm showing you just one use case of Roshcard. You know, he's more versatile than just one dungeon, but I made the same mistake, honestly, in Sand Devil as well. When these dungeons came out, I was kind of just using one team. It was probably in Iron Twin, in both Sand Devil and Iron Twins. It was like a 4-minute team or something like that, you know? It got the job done. It was 100% success rate, but it was slow, especially for me, an endgame account, right? And then I switched. Not only did I switch because I wanted a faster, you know, sure, we always say that like how fast you clear a dungeon doesn't really matter that much. But I guess in aggregate, it does matter, right? Because you only have so much time in the day, right? That you want to be playing Raid in the background even, right? So it saved me a lot of time in the grand scheme of things, right? Which is awesome. But moreover, investing in teams like this, right? Unkillable teams with a Geomancer, who I built 2 of just for this team. So I have my other Geo just normal, right? And a bunch of Painkeepers, right? Level 1 Painkeepers, right? The other one's not even ascended or whatever. And using Roshcard, who I previously wasn't using much, to cut my time in half to a sub 2-minute run or around a 2-minute run was something I should have done so longer ago, right? It just makes so much sense for my account. And that's what hopefully some of you guys will be in the position to do as well with your Roshcard teams. That's why specifically I wanted to give you the speed tunes of all this team as well. I do have a YouTube video going over this particular team in a little bit more in depth on the main YouTube channel, Ash Raid Shadow Legends. Check me out. But yeah, everything, like, look at this, man. It's so easy. Essentially what he's doing is putting the block. Dio's putting the A3 burn. He's getting the damage off his passive. And then we're putting up the block damage, and Painkeepers just keep coming in and reducing the cooldown. That's it. So there it is, you know, best time 137, this time 154, nice and easy, and all thanks to Roshcard the Tower. So go ahead, especially if you have him and Helicath or other block damage champions, Demitha, Warcaster, etc. Well, consider allocating just one Roshcard to a team like this. If you don't have 3 Painkeepers, neither did I. I just waited until I pulled them, and I made sure that I locked them and didn't use them for food, right? So anyway, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this guide. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.